all our brothers and sisters across the world, wherever you are, we extend you a very warm welcome. It's a wonderful Tuesday evening. It's 9th of March 2021. The world is getting to the better arena, to the better mode and means, and the whole world has gone through lots of stress, lots of problems, lots of difficulties, lots of challenges in 2020. So we pray to Almighty. Let me write, first of all, for all of you in Shuddh Hindi, Namaskar from Bharat, and our YouTube channel is live now, GS Motivator. Hearty welcome to all of you. Pleasure to have all of you. So, green morning, green afternoon, and green evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on with all our brothers and sisters. Today is 729th webinar during this particular post-pandemic now. We started from 25th of March, and we strongly believe the whole world is on three words: making education relevant. Somebody says making life relevant. Great. They are doing wonderful job. Doctors, nurses, paramedical people, they are great warriors. They have done great job. But let me tell you, 1.65 billion, the youth, the children from the schools, colleges, universities, institutions, when they had been away, विनोद जी पोस्ट किया जी इसके ऊपर यूट्यूब के ऊपर. So when they had been away from schools, colleges, and universities and institutions, it was a great challenge for the whole world. When we had gone through the documents of the UNESCO, World Bank, UNDP, UNICEF, International Labour Organization, and OECD, couple of other things. And all the documents, whatever we read, we understood the world is passing through a difficult times. Yes, difficult times when you talk about, and that time you have got different stress. And this evening, we have got Sandeep Naji, the founder. Somebody wrote back to me this evening, this when you talk about renewal, when you talk about renewing something, and when you talk about renewalism, he said, Dr. Sharma, have you checked up carefully? I said, yes, I've checked up carefully. It's a new term because we take little time to get used to something, but I'm pretty sure that Sandeep Naji is going to share everything this evening with us, how to have a stress-free life management when we talk about. Now, while moving ahead, let's get step by step and let's move on. And when we have these, International Chamber for Service Industry extends a very warm welcome to all of you. It's a great pleasure because our chamber since 1994 is basically towards the confluence of the non-resident Indians, initially Punjabi Parvasi Divas, then Parvasi Bharti Divas. And it's a long journey which has come from the armed forces, from the army uniform to the Ministry of Tourism, from the Ministry of Tourism to the NRIs, and now total focus on education. But the base is always there. That is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. That means the whole world is one family. We all are one. Let's help out each other the best possible way. Heartiest congratulations to Government of India on 29th of July, right in the middle of the pandemic, in the thick of pandemic. They announced the new education policy, and when Prakash Javadekar ji and Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji on 29th of July, when they came before the cameras in the Press Bureau and Indian Press Bureau, and when they talked over there, what exactly is the new education policy? Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the game changer because after 34 years, this policy has come, and now the policy has been declared. That means in principle it has been adopted, gets to the parliament, gets approval, become a constitutional identity. Thereafter implementation in phases they have already given in the new education policy, and after implementation the monitoring part of it, what exactly is being implemented. Don't we feel that education, whatever we are taking, whether we are taking in school, we are taking in college, we are taking in university, or we are going for any skill program or competency program, or for that matter even capability program, the education got to be relevant to our day-to-day living, our day-to-day life. And for that matter, The youth got to be empowered with the real problems of life. They got to understand what exactly is needed in life, what is required in life, what do we have to do in life. Teachers empowerment, yes, because now teachers and youth, the students, they have to work hand in hand as per the new education policy and as per the post pandemic scenario. We are very proud, we are very happy that in 1994 we brought the finishing school to India, and the finishing lab also setting up, where the etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, articulation, creative thinking, logical thinking, analytical thinking, out of the box thinking, anything you talk about on this, how to make your life meaningful. And there comes soft skills and life skills, both we have taken. We are proud of our Honorable Finance Minister of India, the 6 pillars of the Union Budget which he announced, and pillar number 4 is next to our heart. We are wholeheartedly working on this, that is reinvigorating human capital. What India has got as an asset. This particular population of India, it can become very, very challenging, and it can become great asset. I think lesser said, better it is. Key reforms for the education sector is very important. And in the budget, there is a special focus which has been given. And nowadays, 1st of February, this was announced. 2nd of February onward, I'm proud of my brothers, all my armed forces brothers, Army, Navy, and Air Force. They all are coming one after another. And yesterday, we got Dr. Shankar Goenka, who gave a new tilt and a new dimension, a new bent to understand everything. What exactly is new education policy? What is the new budget? And what is these 100 new scenic schools which have to come up in India? All that was discussed yesterday. Right. Optimum utilization of technology and social media. Now, whether you like it or not, if you go through the latest book of Rajiv Malhotra ji, Artificial Intelligence and Future Power, you will understand where the world is. Right from the Vedic Parampara, right from Mohenjo-daro, right from Takshila, where are we today? What exactly is the scenario when you have got 1,028 universities, when you've got 40,000 colleges, when you have got, imagine, 1.5 million schools? When we are talking about all this, technology is going to play a very important role. Youth empowerment, yes, from time to time we have been doing from our chamber, a couple of areas we have been taking care of, we have been working. Teachers empowerment is also very important, which we have to work on. The other day I had a source person from Australia. It was mind blowing what he gave the input. He told, in Indian education ecosystem and world over, first the education was teaching centric, then it became learning centric, and now after pandemic the role of teacher became facilitator, because information is available. He says because of the corona, the pandemic, Indian education system and world over the education system has moved to the new pedagogy that's called teacher and students. You both are co-learners now together. You got to learn because everything is changing. Education is incomplete without skills, and education and skills are incomplete without getting an outcome of that. It may be economic purpose, it may be a social purpose, it may be a cultural purpose, it may be a personal purpose of any child. Holistic education is. I lost during Corona, one of my very dear friend, Sir Ken Robinson, and he always told what is the purpose of education. And he wrote a book, and that is something very challenging. Do schools kill creativity? That was the challenge. And post pandemic, 30 million parents are thinking to have homeschooling for their children. We are having almost about 12-hour beaming right from the morning till this moment. And you can well imagine the commitment. Teacher and youth empowerment is very, very important, and women empowerment, of course. We have got about 28 webinars per week. That's what our chamber is organizing. And ladies and gentlemen, we strongly believe whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's get together. Let's come together. Let's make education relevant. And let's have the views this evening of Shri Sandeep Naji, the founder. When you talk about renewalism, that's on 9th of March 2021, Tuesday, and something wonderful topic which we all need, how to have stress free life. That means stress free life management. With these words, join me in extending a very warm welcome to Mr. Sandeep Naji this evening, who is joining us. It's a pleasure to have you with us. All yours. Evening is yours. World is yours. Audience is yours. People are yours. Universe. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gulshan Sharma ji. It is such a pleasure to be here. Thank you, all of you attending here live. And if the screen could put me on live, I would be able to see you in the eyes and say hello.
you can, you can, we can come this way. And on the YouTube, people have already joined you live. People have already joined you.
I am not seeing myself on the screen.
Oh,
There I am.
but
Finally.
we can see you. We can see you. We can see you.
Thank you. I am given to understand under the aegis of ICSI that a lot of educators and a lot of students are looking at making education relevant on this platform. It's an absolute privilege to be part of that. And since I'm speaking to educators and students, I will start with the time when I was a student. It's etched in my memory. A dialogue with my father after I cleared the NDA in class 11, and I was sent this beautiful letter from the President of India. It feels really great. I told my father, Papa, I want to go for the NDA. My father was an engineer. He has been an engineer all his life. And he said, Beta, it's very good that you've got the scare of competitive exams out, but now you write the engineering exam. But Papa, I want to fly. Yes, beta, but you haven't finished the 11th. Just finish your 12th and write the engineering exam once. If you don't get through, you can apply for the NDA again. But Papa, but Sandeep got through and became an engineer. Now, 2 years into engineering college, I had a very special appointment with a eye doctor. PJKLFQJA. Okay, now ADP. हाँ ठीक है. You need glasses 24/7. Sir, do I have short sight, long sight? No, no. It is astigmatism. Astigmatism. Very long word. What does that mean, sir? Beta, it is your cornea. There is a dent, so you need to wear glasses all the time. You can't focus properly. Achha. Okay. Big smile. Why? Because an engineer looks very good with glasses. I looked serious. Fast forward 20 years. In the meantime, some jobs happened. I didn't really get along very well with jobs. I set up my own businesses. I completed my management from IIM. And then, somewhere around 2007, I read a book by a lady who specializes in the mind body connection. This lady's name is Louise Hay, and the book is Heal Your Life. She has in that book a list of ailments at a physical level for which you've got solutions through mind programming. It was the first time I came across anything like that. And she had that long word, astigmatism, inside. And the crack was, it was basically a problem to do with self-image. And the crack was an affirmation, which I obviously remember because I said it and internalized it. I am now open and willing to see my own beauty and magnificence. Read the book, it's there. Somewhere, that 17-year-old in the competitive environment of that engineering college, the IIT, had stopped seeing his own beauty and magnificence. I did this for about 16 months. I kid you not, that was 15 years ago. I have not worn glasses. It was the first time I realized that the body can be cured by the mind. I had big problems in those times with the body, with the relationships. I was running a consulting company. I was disturbed, actually disturbed by the kind of things that my clients were doing. Not that they were doing anything wrong, but the whole consciousness of the business environment, selling things that are not good for us, working in workspaces which are crammed and going against the biorhythm and solving problems like somebody's credit card and somebody's insurance claim, problems which I thought ought not to have existed in the first place. That was stressful. Relationship stress, social stress, cash flow, financial stress, all sorts of it. Fortunately, I had a parallel track which I had just adopted of connecting with some Vedic gurus in search of these answers. That why are we working like this? Why are we selling these kind of things? What is our purpose? Where is our consciousness going as a race? And that kept me afloat. By 2010, I had handed my company over to the other directors and I had moved out in search of answers with Tibetan lamas. I spent a few years in the monastery, and I will tell you in a few minutes why all this is extremely relevant. I understood how energy works, how we are all alignments of body, mind, and spirit. And then I found purpose, my own, of working away from the disturbing corporate environment in villages. 6 years I spent in villages, enabling micro entrepreneurship, empowering women with solar energy, little grids, and at the same time, working on energy, on how people can be self regulating themselves into good health, reverse aging, happiness, productivity, and efficiency. So we started doing workshops. And with the grace of God and divine energy, I got the opportunity to do that across 4 continents, impacting quite a few people there. The pandemic came. I was able to convert this knowledge into stuff online. And I also put down the thoughts of how human consciousness can be renewed with thinking, which is one of the points is about homeschooling, which Gulshanji just mentioned. So renewal of human consciousness is about 30 habits which will help renew the world at an individual level and at a group level, at an environmental level and at a systemic level. But today's talk is not about renewal. Today, under the banner of ICSI, I feel privileged to share with you something about these 4 words: stress-free life management. Stress-free is one word, but I choose to break it into 2. And let us start with the very first. So before we begin, I'd like you all to grab a pen and a paper, because you just might want to make some notes. And I'm going to, in fact, ask you to write things down. You're educators. You know the importance of etching into your mind what goes through your hands. First of all, what is stress? So, the classical definition of stress is this is you, and this is something which you cannot handle. The demands are perceived as greater than the resources. These are the resources, these are the demands perceived. Now, perception is a big thing here because stress used to come to us when that big elephant would stand outside our caves, maybe once a week. But today, the big elephant has taken the shape of a bully. The big elephant has taken the shape of a supervisor. It's taken the shape of an opinion, so intangible. And that same impulse of stress comes to us on and on and on. And there is only one answer to it, which I have distilled from 15 years of studying about how our energy works. And the answer is this: all you can do is shine the light on it. Reminds me of a very powerful line by Madam Marianne Williamson. You can Google it up for the exact words, but the essence of that quote is, we must not be scared of the darkness. We must be scared of the light. Because it is the light inside each one of us that we wonder about. Who am I to be so good, so bountiful, so abundant, so magnanimous, so magnificent? Who am I? Now, there are two very important lessons that I'll bring to you with this simple classical definition. The first is that when you realize that you are doing something which is making you appear small, it is a perception being created because you are not happy. You have to do stuff that makes your heart happy. That's what your passion is about. That young boy of 17 was not following his passion. He would have rather flown. And he started on a corneal defect. So maybe write this down. Write it in the comments box so that people have it for reference here as well. That stress is caused when the heart is not happy. Stress is created when the heart is not happy. Thank you for your compliments. I just saw the chat box. I'm glad you're enjoying this. You know, through the next 20, 30 minutes, we're going to do a few exercises also. So you are going to really get out of this for life if you just practice what we're going to talk about and do. The second thing, also from the same, is something that you as parents and as educators and as colleagues must look around for. That the smallest of things, which are aberrant, an aberration, is a sign of stress. You see, that boy with the ophthalmologist was so happy. He had glasses. In fact, by the time I was 35, I used to look 45. And thanks to the glasses, I used to look like a serious consultant. I was still happy. At 37, I realized I have no reason to be happy. I sabotaged myself. The smallest of things are recognizable as signs of stress. Stress does not come when there is a heart attack. Yes, it does. You get more stressed when there's a heart attack. But stress comes when there is irritation. a constant irritation. That's the one you got to be looking for. You see, this little eye problem would not have had devastating effects. I may not have gone blind. But yes, astigmatism people are often with thick lenses all their lives and their noses are bumped down. But irritation can lead to ulcers.
Either your internet connectivity or my internet connectivity, because we have lost the signal. If audience can hear us, if audience can get us, because I'm not in a position to have the movement of Sandeep Naji, we got to see either it is your connectivity or it is connectivity at our end. Audience, can you hear my voice? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, write yes, so that I can inform Sandeep Naji that the problem is at his end. Yeah, problem is at his end. If you can hear me and if you can see me, just write yes in the chat box. If you can hear me and if you can see me, then write in the chat box yes, so that we know that yes, we are connected from our end, but we lost the speaker. Yes, Monu Kapoor, great. Monu has written yes. Gurinder Chauhanji has written yes. Great, great. I'm so very happy. Great. And of course, we are having, yeah, yes, 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 yes. So you can hear me. So it's a wonderful talk what he is having. I think maybe an internet connectivity. That's why we got to have a better internet connectivity. I keep telling, my director is standing here only, Mr. Vinod Kapoor ji, right? Shahid Kapoor's younger brother. So, so I keep telling him that if you want to have such a beautiful session where you want life to be stress free, so there has to be a good connectivity, good bandwidth, and we all should be in a position to. It was a very good talk which he was delivering. I'm sure आप लोगों ने भी इसको नोट कर लिया होगा जो उन्होंने बताया बड़ा अच्छा. He told that कहाँ वो माइक्रो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में काम करते थे, सोलर पावर में डील करते थे, विमेन एम्पावरमेंट के साथ डील कर रहे थे, और फिर उन्होंने एक बड़ा अच्छा सेंटेंस यूज किया, रिवर्स एजिंग. यस, दैट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अभी देखिए, खुदा अगर एक बार मिल जाए, गॉड एक बार मिल जाए और आपसे बातचीत करे और आपको गॉड कहे कि मेरे से एक विश मांग लो, तो आप कहोगे कि मैं दोबारा से साक्षी की तरह 15 साल का कैसे हो सकता हूँ. यू विल आस्क कि मैं दोबारा से 18-20 साल का ममता की तरह कैसे हो सकता हूँ. मैं दोबारा से 18-20 साल का कृतिका की तरह कैसे हो सकता हूँ. ओके, कोई भी बूढ़ा नहीं होना चाहता. एवरीबडी वांट्स टू रिमेन यंग. हर एक आदमी यंग रहना चाहता है. अभी अरुण गर्ग जी भी लिख रहे हैं. यस, अरुण गर्ग जी अगर मान लो 15 साल में दोबारा पहुंच जाए, इस समय ये प्रिंसिपल है और बहुत अच्छे स्कूल को चला रहे हैं, 12वीं तक का स्कूल बहुत बढ़िया से. अरुण गर्ग जी बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. तो प्रोग्राम बहुत अच्छा दे रहे थे वो. ही वॉज टॉकिंग अबाउट रिवर्स एजिंग, फिर उन्होंने हैप्पीनेस की बात करी, फिर उन्होंने डिवाइन की एनर्जी की बातचीत की, फिर उन्होंने एक रिन्यूअल ऑफ ह्यूमन कॉन्शियसनेस की बातचीत की, फिर पैशन की बातचीत की. उन्होंने एक चार्ट सा दिखाया था, पैशन की बातचीत की थी, हार्ट की बातचीत की, हैप्पीनेस की बातचीत की. फिर उन्होंने एक और बात काम किया, बड़ी अच्छा सेंटेंस था जो मैंने पोस्ट भी किया आप लोगों को ग्रुप में, that stress is created when heart is not happy. This is being conveyed by him. Stress is created जब आप दिल से खुश नहीं होते ना, आप अपनी मन से खुश नहीं होते, तो तब आपको स्ट्रेस आता है. ये उन्होंने एक सेंटेंस बोला था बीच में, बड़ा अच्छा. और फिर उन्होंने कहा कि स्ट्रेस कम्स व्हेन देयर इज ए कांस्टेंट इरिटेशन. वो भी एक बातचीत इन्होंने बड़ी अच्छी बताई. तो देखिए, जब इन्होंने ये कहा कि स्ट्रेस कम्स व्हेन देयर इज कांस्टेंट इरिटेशन, तो ये सब लोगों को समझना है, सब लोगों को जानना है. हमको स्ट्रेस कैरी नहीं करना है, किसी तरीके का स्ट्रेस कैरी नहीं करना है. अगर देखिए उनका
Richard ji,
इंटरनेट,
I'm back.
कोई बात नहीं, उनका इंटरनेट चला गया, वो तब भी मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, कोई स्ट्रेस नहीं. क्या फर्क पड़ता है, क्योंकि जो चीज अपने
I'm
हाथ
back.
में है ही नहीं. गो अहेड, गो अहेड, गो अहेड. Please go ahead.
All right. I don't see myself on YouTube. There is a lag. I'm so sorry about that. That is how things are, and we have to be prepared for whatever goes on. So let me just start when I see my face so that I know that I've already connected with you. Extreme apologies for that. And thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma, for
No,
filling the
no worries.
gap.
No worries. No worries. It is beyond us. It is beyond us. You are there.
So this came just around the time when I told you we will do exercises to manage our stress. Now, this is an exercise which is sent to us.
Yes.
Let's continue with where we were. We were talking about the word stress, yeah, and how we have to recognize stress at the smallest level. So there is a concept which I have developed, which is called the stress matrix. And if you go over to my site, sandeepnath.com, at the bottom, you will have access to the stress matrix. There's a button, just you could get more details there. But please, in your own time, do go through the matrix and understand how you can identify in your colleagues, in your family, in your schools, colleges, wherever, how you are looking at these things. I'm sorry, I'm just going slow because I still don't see myself on YouTube. I think the lag is really long. Bear with me, because I'm still seeing Gulshan Kumarji and Gulshan Sharmaji, and I'm not sure whether the transmission is live.
You are there. You are there. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Perfect, excellent. Thank you. So, the stress matrix, we will not go into details about the matrix, but I want you to write this down, that the smallest of things. Now, sometimes we think that the boy is highly volatile. No, no, no. The boy is not volatile. The boy is experiencing stress, and somebody needs to talk with him or her compassionately and get to the bottom of what is it that's going on in his life or her life, which makes this a manifestation. He's not lonely, she's not lonely. These things, when they go unattended, when we classify them in and we blanket them out, okay, these people are like that, that's when we create from a bodily problem, which could go all the way to a heart attack or a cancer, we create a mental problem, which could go all the way to depression and suicide. We don't want to be doing that ignorantly, because nobody told us that there is a matrix on which we have these early signs, and every little thing is an early sign. Astigmatism was an early sign of something that did not make my heart happy. My heart got very happy when I was in the monasteries, and I felt free. And as I told you, with that push of freedom, I was just, working in villages like a free bird, working around the world like a free bird, working online like a free bird. That little boy was finally flying. The word free is what we are born with. You know how we're born? We're born like this. You see, this is how we are born. Clean, free, nothing. And you know what becomes of us? Guess. This. This is what happens to us. Layers and layers and layers of stuff we don't have any use for. I call them 4 P's. And of course, there's so many things within each one of these P's. But everything that stresses us out and why we are not stress free is because of possessions. P1, you could write that in the comments. They could be possessions that we are going after because the neighbors have them, because everybody else has them, because that's the way to be. They could also be the opinions we possess, which pull us down, or the opinions other people possess, which contaminate us energetically. Second is the projections. We project a lot of things which never happen, but we are anxious to the core. Starts with little worry and it becomes a nervous habit. And that nervous habit is an energetic habit. It is very, very subtle. But you have long, long words in medicine like astigmatism and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's to describe situations like that, which actually are very, very solvable if we just catch ourselves projecting. Mindfulness and things like that, which come from the Buddha 2500 years ago, are getting more fashionable nowadays because they just tell us, observe, what are you doing? What are you projecting? And what is the truth? The third P is perceptions. We perceive things as constraints. Perceptions impact relationships. I draw a 6 here. You see a 9. You and I can be fighting for the next 20 years. That is my property. This is your property. My 6, your 9. It's the same thing if we just come around the table, right? And the fourth P, I'm not going into details of this, but you know from your experience of stress causers is priorities. And when we don't have priority, I'll just give you one important priority. Do what makes your heart happy. Prioritize that over everything else you do. If Mahatma Gandhi had not prioritized his fight against injustice, which made his heart happy, over his career as a lawyer, he would probably have lived very well as a foreign returned, middle class, mediocre, or even very good lawyer. He would not have become Mahatma. You see what I'm saying? What makes your heart happy will bring your stress down and make you very comfortable with no clothes on in the House of Commons, UK. So let's do an exercise because these contaminations, these P's are going to keep at us. That is how life is. That is samsara. But all we can do is we can know how to respond to it and respond so that our freedom comes back. So stand up, please. Stand up, because this exercise you can do anywhere, anytime in 30 seconds, but you must be on your feet.
The best
If you're
part
in
is,
a
I do all my webinars while standing.
wonderful, wonderful. I'm appealing to all the people watching this. Please push their chair back and stand now. And imagine that you are a tree. Grow roots down from the soles of your feet to the center of the earth and stand tall like a tree. Come on, stand. I know there's some of you over there who's not standing. Know it. I'm energetically connected to you. Do this. Stand. And then imagine that in this tree, which is standing so magnificently over here, there is this breeze blowing. Okay. And the breeze is getting stronger and stronger, and it's going through your leaves. And what are these leaves? These leaves are all those P's. All those projections and possessions and priorities and perceptions. And all of what it means for our tensions, for the bullying that happened, which is stored in our subconscious, for something that happened that stores in our unconscious, and for things that we keep thinking about again and again and again, and things that are just not in our control in our conscious minds. All these leaves are on those branches, and most of them don't serve us. It's autumn. The wind is blowing, and I want you to shake in that wind. Start moving. Start shaking your knees, your toes, your ankles, your hips. Watch me. Hands, and follow me. Do this. Shake. You can go to a bathroom, a washroom in office or in a mall and do this, and the fight that you just had will just disappear. You can close your eyes and do it, open your eyes and do it, but just start moving, shaking and shake and start jiggling every part of you. Your jaws and your eyebrows and your ears, feel them move. And your hands, wrists, fingers, everything, just feel it move. And give a good shake all over you. And imagine those leaves dropping away. Everything that doesn't serve you is falling away. You don't need it. And it's not something that you need to put your attention on what's falling, what's not falling, whatever needs to fall, whatever is not serving you will just fall, 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 fall. And all those leaves will fall. And do this for about 20 seconds, friends. And then in your energy field, just clean it off with a movement, a smooth stroke in your hands above and below, in your belly, collect it and up and out of the mouth. Your eyes, just collect these contaminations and run over your hair and out of the mouth. Collect all the garbage left from your shoulders and neck and bring it up the spine and like that. And now report to yourself, and you could write in the comments how you feel. If you feel lighter, note that the lightness is the physical weight of contamination that you have been carrying. Do this every 2-3 hours or twice or thrice a day, and you will keep clearing out contaminations. And these are contaminations even of physical things like viruses and bacteria. And my light's gone again, but I'm on a Wi-Fi backup, so we will just have a little bit of light going in and out, but hopefully the connection's going to continue as I see it is. Let everything that doesn't belong to you fall apart, fall away. Teach this to your children. Teach this to everybody and do it. The more you do it, the more you start feeling the grossness of this cleaning, and your immunity will start developing. You will start being stress free. Now, let me come to life. And as we talk about life, let me tell you a life and death story. It's a story about a fly at a window, and that fly is going through that window. It is dead sure that if it knocks its head hard enough for long enough, it's going to go through. It is very scientific. It knows that it is 5 mm, more than 5 mm, and the glass is only 3 mm. And so it can cut through. It knows that every time it bangs its head, there is heat produced, and if there's just enough heat, that glass will give up. It will go through. And possibly, it will not. That life and death story has another story. And that other story is that there is a window just above. And if the fly would have just gone 1 meter up, it would be out of the window and exactly where it wanted to be. Friends, this is our life. These are those peas, these are those layers that we have started creating ever since the first time that our parents told us, no, don't do that. What makes you think that way? And all the way till teenage, we are nice and hard. And the rest of our lives, we are realizing that this is not our true self and we are from the center, which is where we were. From this center, we are going out, cutting through layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. And it is a tough journey. But we don't have to be on this journey. We have to realize that our apex, our axis is here in the center. And if we can just come out from here, bam, it's that easy. Instead of the fly going through, the fly can go a little higher and out, connected with universal energy, connected with divinity. How do you do that? You do that by understanding that you are nothing but a part of that huge divine energy. You are part of that huge Pacific Ocean. You may look like a wave. Somebody else may look like a surf. Somebody else may look like a ripple. And you may be hitting your head against that rock, believing that you've got to make sand out of it. But if you can just pull back, you will find the deep, calm Pacific that you are part of. That is the real you. And you can do that now. And I'm going to give you another 30-second exercise, which I want you to do. It's not enough to know. We know a lot of things. It's important to do. So this you could do sitting, if you're sitting on a chair, or you could do standing. But once again, I'd like you to ground yourself. You know, we collect energy from the ground. It comes through the soles of our feet and up. And I want you to grow a third root from your back, from the tailbone, going straight down. Just imagine that going right down. And so you have a tripod that you have, and your back is straight against, not leaning against the back of the chair, but independent of the back of the chair. Vertical. Sitting or standing, perfect. Now I want you to breathe and observe where this breath goes. If you breathe deeply, your belly must come out. Why? You're not breathing in your stomach. You're breathing to fill your lungs fully. And when your lungs fill fully, they press your diaphragm down. And because there's no rib cage, the belly comes out. Now, I have seen this in 1 in 3 people all the way from New Zealand to Mexico. They breathe in reverse. And that is a sign that you are stressed. You're compromising on the length of your life and the quality of your life because you're not doing what makes life, breathing correctly. So if you find that you are not having your belly going out, if it's remaining flat, or worse, if it's going in, realize that you are constricting your lungs. You're pushing your diaphragm up and telling the lungs, this is all the space I've got. Fill it up. If you keep breathing shallow like that, you will have all sorts of difficulties. For example, there was this lady who came to me who's had a lot of chiropractic practice that's happening on these 3 vertebrae because they're starting to get fused. And I discovered she breathes with the belly going in. I said, just for 2-3 weeks, reverse it consciously. And she did. She never needed to see the chiropractor again or anybody else because there was no further pain. The body has a great way of self-healing, but it is our conditioning that calls for a renewal, which is why we've got to make education relevant so that we understand what we already knew 4,000-5,000 years ago and bring it back to serve us in today's complexities of life and business. So I would recommend that you take 3 breaths like this and see the calm that comes in. It's completely different. You change your state inside. You connect with that needle of your inner power, and that needle then manifests upwards and connects with the universe. When you change your inner power, you change your outer reality. People start reacting differently. You will see it. If you're in an argument with somebody, take 30 seconds off, take 3 breaths, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, 3 times. 30 seconds, friends. And the next thing you say will solve whatever is going on. Check it out. So finally, with that, I come to the last word, management. And this, is a very big word. I'm scared of big words, astigmatism, Alzheimer's, management. In fact, I've got to bend for it. So I'm going to actually tell you that this word is, no. It's a word which has a problem. And the problem, and I'm saying this from the Indian Institute of Management, okay? The problem is that it's a reactive word. There are two types of words, proactive words and reactive words. You have to manage something, which means something already gone wrong, or something is complex. Life is very simple. Keep it that way. Bring it back, renew it to that simplicity with your habits. So this word manage needs a replacement. And if management is about reactivity, then what is the word for proactivity? Think about it, put in the comments. Because that is where I want you to involve your minds on what exactly does a proactive person do. You see, a proactive person is not stressed. A proactive person was the one who got into the NDA. A reactive person is the one who went to engineering college. A proactive person was the one who set up his business. A reactive person is the one who conformed to the ways that other people do business and started getting hugely stressed, as I told you. A proactive person is the one who took to the Himalayas. And thereafter, there was no stopping, because that was the time when life was being led by design. A proactive person is a person who designs their lives. And I would urge you to bring that methodology in. I have the whole treatise on renewing our systems to start designing them right. Because if online education is resulting in so much of good for the planet by way of carbon emissions, by way of the burden on children, the time being lost in travel, the amount of bullying, all sorts of things, then we must bring this on by design. We must not be forced into this by a coronavirus and spend a whole year reacting to how to manage that. Now, this 2021 is the time for designing systems so that the kids still get their human interaction, they still get their energy interchanges. The teachers are used to processes which are making it easier for a world to interact online. Because tomorrow you might reopen the schools and universities, but day after, the boy or girl will go into work at Google or Facebook or someplace like that, which is still working from home. So suddenly you are not preparing them for the real world, because hybrid working, working from home, working from away from the city is the way the nature has ushered us. It's shown us the path that you were going off track. Those concrete jungles were not right for you. Go back. So many of my friends are operating from little family houses in the hills. All you need is Wi-Fi. So this is a different subject altogether. Stress-free life design. Not the subject for today's talk. I'd love to take questions on stress-free life management, and I'm available on sandeepnath.com. Just go down at the bottom and you can write a note to me, connect up, and I would be happy to see how we can have more conversations in your institutions specific to your contexts so that we can bring about change by design, renewal. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Gulshan Sharma, and all of you here. And I'm really happy to take questions for whatever time we have for it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Today, being a first session, I think we would allow people to take on some time to get into the arena. And something very nicely you have mentioned over here, because in the new education policy, when I'm talking to some of the experts, there is a word which is coming now is design thinking. Design thinking. And this word is coming in a
Absolutely.
very big way. And Anand Prakashji, who is at present helping one of the state government and one of the union territory from Doha, Qatar. He's an Indian posted over there with 14,000 students in one of the schools, which he's leading as a head of the organization. So he always talks about where India is at present in design thinking. So, if you would permit, today we would leave audience with the stress-free life design, and let them all over, let them go over. They can visit your sandeepnath.com web portal. They can see, they can link up with you, they can join you from there. Ladies and gentlemen, I just happened to meet Sandeep ji because I'm very strong on LinkedIn, and my team keeps working on that, and there we just exchange the notes with each other. And I found that this is a
Wonderful.
subject that this is a subject which we need today, because so many people have told me that why are you focusing, you have done so much, you can do many other areas, why are you focusing on education, and why are you talking about making education relevant? I don't believe in empowerment. There is no such word we should talk about. Inspiration, yes. There is nothing like, I used to call myself earlier a motivational speaker, but more and more program which I attended, which I have designed and I have gone through, I learned that now you should be an inspirational speaker than to be a motivational speaker, because motivational speaker impact lasts for a short duration, whereas the inspiration, it's carried for a longer duration. And I personally
Very
feel
well said.
that we all got to work on too. And life is made of stories. Had you not shown that onion, had you not shown that needle, I think we would have not perceived it much better, because entry from the side or entry right from the top. And particularly what you have mentioned about the tree part, yes, that's beautiful. We all should practice at workplaces, at home, wherever we are. And I think couple of things which comes with maturity also. And I find a lot of principals, lot of teachers, when they come on the session, they are struggling, they're puffing and all that. And I tell them, relax, don't worry, no problems, nothing. No, sir, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. I said, it will work, don't worry. When it has to work, it will work. I'm going to say, something very interesting. Some of the people sitting inside the flight, the aircraft, people have already gone inside timely. The flight is to take off. The flight is taxiing and it comes on the runway. And right at the runway at the edge, the air traffic control says there's a very strong wind is blowing and the aircraft cannot take off right now. Some of the people, they are very calm inside the aircraft. They are very nice. They are very composed. And they understand that is beyond captain, it is beyond co-pilot. They can't do anything about it. Some of them, they start shouting on the air hostess. Some of them, they start yelling over there. Now there you come to know what exactly is the behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, there are certain factors within our control. There are certain factors beyond our control. Now the connectivity, let's talk about this evening only. The connectivity is not in the hands of Sandeep Naji. In his hand is to give a good moderation, modulation, good kind of inputs and ingredients to all of you for our cerebrum. Lekin he cannot do anything about internet. So when he had gone off, no worries. I just repeated what all he had covered till that time. Like a good student, I had taken the notes. So
Thank you
what
so
I'm
much.
telling is, I'm telling that you got to understand the stress, as he rightly said, there are so many things. and when he talked about heart, and when he talked about stress. And now today we have got a new word, and I'm very, very happy. Before we close the session, I would like to convey my deep gratitudes and thanks to him for having come on this program, having brought this program. Keep bringing some program, innovative programs with more kind of practical demonstrations and storyboards and whatsoever you can. Uh, we will meet again some other day on this platform. We are grateful to you, we are thankful to you, and we pray to Almighty for your wonderful days ahead for you, your family, and everybody. And may God bless all of us. May our world become a better place. One of the study which I always want to carry as an army officer, and I always look at it, how much money are we spending on arms and armaments? If somewhere we start trusting each other and we make this world stress-free life design, and that money, if it is spent on education, on global peace, on environment, because we are destroying, and then we say now the climate change has come. So I think
Yeah.
we got to relook at everything once again. With these words, Sandeep ji, our blessings to you, our regards to you, gratitudes to you. Thank you very much for coming this evening. Look forward meeting you on some other day on the platform. God bless. Stay fine, stay fit. So, green morning, green afternoon, and green evening, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. You can visit sandeepnath.com and get further input